It now gives me great pleasure to introduce JELIL Bouraoui, past IFAC board member and present managing partner of Moore Stephens JELIL Bouraoui in Tunisia.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. I am JELIL Bouraoui from Tunisia. I am a member of the Institute. Also, I spent 10 years in the National Economic and Social Council in Tunisia. And then in 2001, I joined IFAC to be one of the founders of the Forum of Firm. And then I spent 2 years in the Transnational Audit Committee. And in 2004, I joined the Development Relation Committee, where we worked very hard under the lead of my friend Ndunku Katinji to set up the Pan-African Federation of Accountants. Then we did it, and I was a member of the board of that Pan-African Federation of Accountants for 2 years. Then I spent 6 years in the board of IFAC and 1 year in nominating committee. So a lot of work with IFAC, but I'm also governor of the Tunisian Lions Club and also honorary consul of the Republic of Estonia and Tunisia. So it's a real pleasure and an honor for me to have this opportunity to share with you some thought about strengthening capacity of the SMPs and how we can help them grow and add value to their SMEs clients. Daniel, my friend, has presented the core subject of the session, and I am going to cover the upstream side of the process and explain how IFAC and the donors are contributing to the capacity building in Africa and the MENA region. First of all, let me tell you a few words about Tunisia. Well, some say that Tunisia is a small light in, let's say, some Arab country darkness. Well, I hope those countries will get out of the darkness and join us to shed more light on these words. Yes, we managed to set up a state-of-the-art constitution. We also managed to elect a new parliament last month with democratic leaders. And also, we are going to vote for a president this month, and then we will have the opportunity to open a new page of the Tunisian history early in 2015. But the situation, the political and press freedom success are the only crop from the Spring Revolution, what we call the Spring Revolution. Unfortunately, the bad news is that economic, financial, and social sides were completely disregarded. Even though the very recent World Bank report on Tunisia, called the Unfinished Revolution, highlights the fact that Tunisia have all the prerequisites to be the tiger of the Mediterranean. I believe there is many things and a long way to go. We have over 650,000 SMEs, companies in Tunisia, which represent almost 80% of our economic fabric, and 750,000 unemployed, waiting to be absorbed by an economic renewal. And then the SMPs are ready for the contribution. Those SMPs, of course, member of the OECD, who OECD is our institute, who has over 30 years at the service of the Tunisian economy. We are now around 900 professionals, and they are almost all SMPs, the largest being one of the big four with 8 partners and 150 staff. Almost all the 26 members of the Forum of Firm, IFAC Forum of Firm, this is the middle tier and the big four, have representatives in Tunisia. And therefore, the links for an internationalization of the SMEs client are available. All we need is that professionals be aware of the time of change and be a leader to create opportunities for their client abroad where the economies are still demanding for growth, for example, in Africa. We have also many institutions available to promote the foreign direct investment and mix a chamber of commerce and industry to facilitate the SME investment abroad. Access to finance, as you know, is never easy, and the specialized banks have been created together with specific government funds for innovation and the startup project. OECD works very closely with these backup institutions. And at the end of the day, they all go to the SMPs for advice and consultation. So this is where the SMPs become the most trusted business advisor, because they know all the how, where, and when to support their SME client. In Tunisia, and also in similar countries in the Middle East and Africa, all the small companies usually prefer and trust the SMPs as advisor because they are under professional quality control, secrecy, and ethic. It's very important for them, for the small business. The connected SMPs usually have worldwide professional network to action when necessary, and they speak at least 3 languages, Arabic, French, and English, to facilitate the prospection and communication with companies partners. Let me give you an example of, because in Tunisia, let's put it this way, we don't have a lot of SMEs going international. They usually go to Libya, Algeria, sometimes Morocco. They don't have the strength, you know, to go and invest in very far countries. So the one who really have something to do with international, they have the economic business support of their own client. And those clients ask them to follow them internationally. It's like they developed in the United States and in Europe, where these companies invest abroad and ask the auditors to follow them. And I have a client like this, and this is an example of a car cable and wire business who supplied Mercedes, BMW, Volkswagen, and many others. And we have a lot of those business in Tunisia because they are, you know, workforce consumers, but they don't add a lot of value. So when the car makers open a new factory somewhere, they ask their those car cable company, the cable and wires company to follow them because of the logistic. They need the cables very, very quickly. And this is how our client followed them in Portugal, in Egypt, in Romania, in Morocco, and they are prospecting Mexico and China. Obviously, this is also an opportunity for us to help them and advise them in the generally complicated procedures. Strategic option and also the link with our partners abroad, tax and legal services are ongoing consultation between the client, the local representative, and us. Now, our main core subject is to talk about the role of the PODC and SMP committees in developing and strengthening capacity of the SMPs. So, when René recall is the former president of IFAC had the good idea, that was in 2004, to launch the DNC, the Developing Nation Committee, and the SMP. He was far from imagining the impact that those committees will have on the strengthening of the PAOs, I mean, Professional Accounting Organization worldwide, and also the SMPs. I'm not going to tell you how many and how much and the quantity of work done by the developing nation, which become the PAODC after, and the SMP in guidance and monitoring and mentoring and so on. But the main one for me is the Mosaic, which is the Memorandum of Understanding to strengthen accountancy and improve cooperation. Let me tell you 3 main points of the Mosaic. First of all, they decided to create a high-level report called GDR report, PAO GDR report, regarding the current status. They want to make the inventory of what's happening worldwide as a first step in realizing their objective. They also this report provides guidance for and direction for their future activity. There is a new one limited to North Africa and Middle East, which will be issued next year. The second one is the development by IFAC of a Mosaic website that provides a global platform to facilitate knowledge sharing. The website is launched now during this Congress. You can see it in the IFAC place, and has been funded by the World Bank. More applications are expected next year, and that's most important to match the need of the PAOs and the fund available by the donor. And finally, very important agreement lately, late this April in 2014, the agreement between IFAC and the UK Department of International Development, we call DFID for English here, under which DFID will provide 8.2 million funding to IFAC over 7 years. And IFAC will facilitate, coordinate, and supervise PAO capacity building program and technical support program in at least 10 DFID. And I have been nominated member of the independent selection panel. That means those guys, 3 persons, who are going to select the partners organization to do the job. Now, another point, just to finish with what IFAC is doing at the global level, is the Global Knowledge Gateway, which is a portal to global accountancy knowledge, resource, and news. The official launch was made this year, and at least 56 members, bodies, and organizations have helped to promote the gateway. The Global Knowledge Gateway continues to gain track. Just to tell you, between September and October, 10,000 new visits and 1,000 1,000 visitors bookmarked the site. This gives you an idea. Now, if we switch to what regional organization and accounting grouping, okay. I'm sorry, I got so many things to say. So maybe you have to skip a few things here. We talked about PAFA, so it's created, which is with 39 members. And they just put Building a Bridge to a Brighter Africa, a brochure, which can help you. And also good news for the women, next year they will create a network of women accountants in Africa. I'm going to skip FIDEF and also the others and come to the conclusion that finally all IFAC structure and donors community are focusing on strengthening the PAO and their SMPs in the public interest and to advance the economy. The SMP are the ultimate key for the economic development and poverty reduction through their daily advice and technical support to the SMEs, who are the principal agent for the development of a new market and growth. They account for over 60% of GDP and 70% of total employment in low-income countries, according to OECD. Before I close, 2 or 3 points. There are many reports published on our subject by CPA Australia, ACCA, and CPA Ireland. And I particularly recommend the recent one from CPA Ireland called Weathering the Storm, SME Lessons from the Crisis. You have to read it or download it. Many of the experiences in the report are certainly relevant to the SME in our region. Do not forget to participate and promote the IFAC Global SMP survey. The deadline is for December 15, and we have already 4,000 answers to date. My special thanks and congratulations to the organizer, CEC and IFAC, for this first completely digital World Congress of Accountants. Thank you very much for your attention.